So I'm Hannah.
I'm Kyra.
I'm Joe.
This is our website. So functions of the adolescent brain. And then down here we have each of our four topics, the brain learning, instruction, activity, and technology. Kyra's section. So I'll let her kind of talk about what she found out.
Yeah, so having a background in health science, I kind of already knew a little bit about the human body and brain and how it works, but it was interesting researching the adolescent brain. Um, yeah, so I kind of broke it down into the three parts of how the brain is made up and went into depth about each of their structures a little bit more and how they help the adolescent brain function. What we've learned with the adolescent brain is, it goes through a whole transition period. And, this would be helpful for teachers to know because teenagers experience moodiness and they experience a whole lot of a range of emotions, and how they react is going to be widely different than how they reacted maybe a year ago, just due to all those hormones that are being built up. One thing I thought was interesting is how the amygdala is hyperactive. And so teenagers or adolescents, they basically respond better to a reward system rather than kind of negative reinforcement.
So this is my little section. I built the website, so that was more of what I contributed. So some things just that stood out to me mostly with the self-awareness was having students keep a personal journal, and then also like connecting content to students' personal lives. I've seen in the middle schoolers that I work with that when teachers connect things to something they're interested in, they're going to be a lot more willing to participate. And then recognition, I liked the encouraging students to become self-testers and creating their own practice tests, because then they can recognize what they know for themselves and recognize that they can, do hard things. And for regulation, I liked the teaching mindfulness routines like the short breathing or like focused activities. I think that those are kind of good for any age to be able to like regulate when you're feeling some heightened emotions. And then things like taking breaks or asking for help. I think especially asking for help can be really difficult for some kids at this age. So letting them know like that they can do that to help regulate, I think is really great.
I broke down the instructional strategies here into three major portions. I really found it interesting how much of these learning and teaching techniques were based purely on allowing the student to make their own decisions, giving kids options where none of them are bad options. It helps build confidence and really the supporting meaningful learning. I know for a lot of my students, I get a lot of complaints that we're never going to use this. And that's not true. I think it's important for educators to break down more than just the information on the paper they're learning. The information that they're learning is teaching them how to learn something newer or how to build problem solving skills for the future. Technology, I had to spend a lot of time learning how to use this technology. The school I'm in is a very low SES environment. So we don't have access to a lot of the technology that you hear about. It's very enlightening to see the amount of technology that we can introduce that's not putting on a financial strain to both the school and to the student can really help build sections of the brain, especially cognitive, how we're going to use what I'm learning today, tomorrow, which is very important for students leaving schools.
How we collaborated. So we started in the group chat, and Kyra and I were able to jump on a Zoom call and just kind of discuss what we wanted to do. Decided to go with a website since there was 5 bullet points. We were like, okay, how do we split up 5 bullet points between 3 people? So I was like, well, I'll build a website and take 1 bullet point and then give to everybody else. So we sent over Joe's to him, and everybody sent their information to me, and I uploaded it all onto the website.
If teachers came together to make a website or such, like what we had done, or even like a PowerPoint presentation, kind of like what Joe had mentioned, that in the sense of schools that are low socioeconomic or in more like rural areas, having maybe a website for everybody to access with these resources is going to be more beneficial than if they don't have the budget to send their teachers to conventions or like local conferences and stuff like that. So providing their knowledge in a sense where they could also access it would be very beneficial.